Welcome to the August 13th, 2019 Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting. We're going to start our meeting. I've asked Tommy Van, our new pastor at the Fayetteville United Methodist Church, to come and give a prayer. He could sing a song for us afterwards, but we'd have to end the meeting. He's such a good singer, he can't follow that. So after the prayer, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance and we'll get into our agenda. All stand, please.
Thank you, Mayor Wisnett. Appreciate that welcome. And just a brief point of privilege, if I may, to say that we're new to town, and I want to thank you for all the services that you and all the city provide for us. I have been very well pleased. All the services have been great, and people have been hospitable. And even though I'm a foreigner, I appreciate being treated like one of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let us pray. Dear God, you have ordered all things on earth and have given us dominion over them all. We can name things. We can name animals and streets and places of public gathering. We're thankful that you have given us dominion over these things. You have ordered our lives. And yet, when we think of our place in the world and how small we are, what are human beings that you're mindful of them, that you care for us, but yet we are just a little lower than the angels. So we do pray that as we deliberate and make decisions, that we do so bearing the burden that we are holding other people's lives in our hands, that we need to operate carefully and considerably as you operate with us, and that we, as in this distinct privilege of leading people in our community, whether it be in the public sector or in our houses of religion, other public places and private sector of business, help us so to do with your wisdom, with your guidance, and by your hand. This we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll go next into the adoption of the agenda. Does anybody have anything they need to add or subtract? If not, this will stand. We'll go into the regular meeting minutes of July 9th, 2019. Does any board member have any corrections and additions? No. Those will go into records. Our next on the agenda is the oath of office for Officer Brian McCrory. If you'll come forward, please. Right hand, repeat after me. I,
Brian McCrory,
do solemnly swear or affirm that I am duly qualified, according to the Constitution and laws of this state,
according to the Constitution and laws of this state,
to exercise the duties of the office to which I have been appointed, and that I will, to the best of my ability, discharge the duties thereof, and preserve, protect, and defend the constitutions of the state of Tennessee and the United States of America. I further swear or affirm that I will enforce the ordinances of the city of Fayetteville and the laws of the state of Tennessee, protect the life and property of its citizens, that I will diligently seek to detect crime and to apprehend perpetrators of crime, that I will be ever mindful of the trust that has been placed in me by the citizens of the city of Fayetteville, and will make every effort to live up to that trust. Congratulations. We'll go into our regular reports. Lauren Honey had a conflict with Fayetteville Main Street, so we're going to ask her to come in September and report. And we'll go to Fayetteville Lincoln County Chamber of Commerce. Ms. Carolyn Denton.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I appreciate the opportunity to be here to talk to you about the Chamber. Since my last report, we've had grand openings with Badcock Home Furniture and More, Pile of Rocks Farm, Fayetteville Learning Center on the Ardmore Highway, American Job Service Center which is housed in the South Central Human Resource Agency's building, Merle Norman Studio on North Main, Hometown Rental, and Fayetteville Automotive, which was a double ribbon cutting they are located on the Huntsville Highway. And then tomorrow we have Timeless Treasures, which is at 216 Main Avenue South. Under tourism, we're getting good response from our billboard that's on Interstate 65. I've applied for a grant from the Tennessee Department of Tourism. And next month, the Tennessee Tourism will be launching a new website with GPS-based mapping for the Civil War Trail. We've been part of the Civil War Trail for quite some time. There's a marker across the street at the courthouse on the grounds and also at Stonebridge Park. So this will allow people to navigate that a little better and find the Civil War Trails, which starts in the Carolinas and all the way through Tennessee. Our new Fayetteville brochure is ready. I've brought everyone a copy of that to see. If you'd like more to give out, you're more than welcome to those. They'll be also at all the welcome centers across the state and available for visitors. We're looking forward to the groundbreaking for Camp Blunt. That's going to be very exciting. We've been promoting it as coming soon, so it's really exciting for it to finally be coming to fruition. And just this past week, Governor Lee announced that all 95 counties in Tennessee have seen an increase in tourism, so that's great news for our state. Our membership banquet is coming up on October the 28th at Lincoln County High School, so please put that on your calendar. Right now, our membership is nominating the honorees, and that will be business, nonprofit, and individual member of the year. And we will also recognize our incoming board members, which are Josh Richardson from First National Bank and Jenny Patrick from Pile of Rock Farm. So we're looking forward to working with them. We will have an information booth at the Lincoln County Fair with all of our tourism information. Our Music in the Park series is wrapping up tonight. We do appreciate the city and the Parks and Rec Department for being our partners in this series. And also I'd like to thank Paul Braden for his help in scheduling and lining up the Songwriters Night that we had a couple of weeks ago. And a shout out to Jim Neal. He's my popcorn guy, and he's popcorn and no matter what the weather, whether it was raining or hot or whatever. So I appreciate Jim, and also Floyd's Farm food truck and Kona Ice for being there with us every night. So we've had a great series, a lot of good music, and we appreciate all of our performers for sharing their talent with us. Our education committee, which is made up of the school systems, TCAT, Motlow, business and industry, have started a page on our website called The Link, and we are trying to create a partnership between business and industry and our schools. We can interact on that page if there's a school that needs like a business person to come in and say read to the kids or be a guest speaker. We can kind of put people together on this site, and also businesses and industries can post job internships and job postings on there. So right now there's information about a job fair that's going to be taking place on August the 27th at Lincoln County High School, so we want to get the word out about that. Our Student Advisory Board will have their first meeting on Thursday. We have 16 students from the 3 schools and also homeschool. So we're looking forward to working with them and showing them more about our community. Our second business boot camp will be also on Thursday. A lot going on this week. It will take place at Motlow, and the Biz Foundry will be facilitating that again for us this year. We have a lot of local professionals and entrepreneurs that are going to be there to talk about finance, commercial insurance, social media, legal questions, so that folks that are looking to start a business or have already have a business can make sure that they're filing all the proper paperwork and the reports and all of the information that they need for that. And also a reminder for Host a Christmas Pass, of course, is coming up November 8th, 9th, and 10th. The deadline for events to send in their information is August the 23rd, so that we can get that information in the brochure. So if they have any questions, they can call us at the Chamber or at Fayetteville Main Street. So that's my report.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions? A lot of exciting things going on. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll go into our regular monthly standing committee reports. We'll start with the fire department.
Good afternoon. I apologize for being late, but it's that time of year when teachers burn popcorn at the high school and set off smoke alarms. The month of July was fairly busy for the fire department. We answered 100 calls for service in July with 6 fires, 8 motor vehicle collisions, 71 rescue and EMS calls, 3 hazardous conditions where there were no fires. I believe we had a couple of people trapped in some elevators, service calls 2, and then good intent calls, which includes false alarms and canceled en route calls. We had 10 of those. The fire department logged 720 man hours of training for the month. And just on a side note, myself and Senior Captain Jeff Smart attended 2 days of International Association of Firefighters Chief Conference up in Nashville. And that's about it for the month.
Thank you, Chief. We'll go to the police department. Chief Allen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For the month of July, we had a total of 84 reportable incidents of TBI, made 38 arrests, issued 42 citations, with a total police activity of 1,335. That's my report, Mayor.
Thank you. We'll go to the recreation department. Mr. Mitchell.
Yes, sir, Mayor. This weekend we have our 2nd annual Seniors Fish Day. Fishing Rodeo at Stone Bridge Park. We encourage everybody to come out for it. The swimming pool will be closed. We'll have a closing bash September 2nd from 7 to 9. And the season party. The swimming pool has done better this year than I can remember doing since I've been with the recreation department. Our soccer league cranks up at the end of next week. The Wallace Park roof is repaired in the bathrooms. They've done a great job on it. And we will be getting bids together to start our replacement of the Lancaster cabin roof in the next week or 2. That's my report, Mr. Mayor.
Can you just give a quick figure on your how well you did with the concessions since you took it over at the pool this summer?
Right now, as a whole, everything that we brought through our software on pool admission and concession and our ball field concessions is roughly over $79,000. And we had a year-end closing of $16,000 expense on food and supplies for them. We're waiting to do a year-end closing amount of salaries to see where we stand on that, which I was impressed with those people.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. We'll go to Public Works. Mr. Plunkett.
Thank you, Mayor. Month of July, we had 322 ton of brush, 287 ton of trash. August the 20th at 5 o'clock, we'll be having a neighborhood meeting here with all the residents on Markham and Brookmead to discuss the 3 projects that we're doing over in that area.
And how it affects the temporary drive.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. That's a good point for everybody.
We will hand deliver those hopefully in the morning to the tenants of both neighborhoods.
Great. Thank you. We'll go to planning codes. Ms. Gentry.
Thank you, Mayor. 16 permits were issued in July. The total project valuation was $2,074,853. The fees were $1,939.57. On your iPads, there is a current violation log. Currently, we have over 650 property maintenance violations. that has either been completed or we are working on. For the branding initiative, we ask the residents of Fayetteville to please go to our city's website or Facebook page and complete the short survey for the branding initiative. Our goal is to have 300 surveys completed to help them do their research for the branding project. And for the downtown master plan, we have set the dates for the 4-day charrette. It will be September 30th through October the 3rd. During those 4 days, there will be 2 public meetings, and we will send out more information at the beginning of September. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. We'll go to Mr. Rozelle on finance.
Thank you, sir. We received our approved certified tax rate from the Tennessee Comptroller's Office on July 25th. The certified rate was 1.5021. In the budget ordinance for FY20, the board approved the 2019 tax rate as a flat $1.50, so we came in slightly lower than the certified rate. At the end of FY19, our local option sales tax revenue totaled $2,646,955, which is $122,000 more than we had originally budgeted. And our occupancy tax, which is the tax that is charged to individuals staying in our hotels and motels and is restricted for tourism use, finished fiscal year 2019 at an all-time high of $114,620, and this is $17,000 more than we had originally budgeted.
Great, fantastic. Mr. Collins?
Thank you, Mayor. I start off my report with a disappointing note. They've announced the selections for the 2019 Transportation Alternative Program grants, and we were not selected. We've been encouraged to apply again in the future, but they had over 26 applicants requesting over $23 million in funding. But with that being said, also from TDOT, we have received our formal start of construction notice to proceed construction date, which will be Monday, August 19th on phase 1 of the Greenway. On phase 2 of the Greenway, we received notification today that there is one minor document that is being processed, and once it's processed, we'll get notification to go to bid on it. And that's probably the reason we did not make the cut for phase 3 funding, because we're going to have 2 active TAP projects going on throughout this year and maybe into 2020. Next item I'd like to touch base on includes MTAS has initiated the fire study for our fire department, working with Chief Baldwin, and it'll be several months in the process, but they'll submit a report back to this board of mayor and alderman. On the local parks and recreation grant, the contract is ready, and we will have a 6-month window to construct the soccer complex. We have received notice from Dyken and Goodman that there's an internal document that Dyken will be providing to the Goodman board, and then that's supposed to be done next week, and then the deed will be presented to you, Mayor, for the soccer property. On October 3rd, at 2:15, Randy Boyd will be in town with the Boyd Foundation's Dog Dash Park to give us a $25,000 no-match grant for improvements to our dog park over at the Don Davidson Complex. And lastly, we have 2 favorable notes on Camp Blunt. Number 1 is, of course, the groundbreaking. Information is coming out on it. It'll be Friday the 16th at 10:30 at the Camp Blunt site. You all will not have any problems figuring out where to go for the groundbreaking. We're going to have tents, chairs. It's shaping up to be a really impressive event. We've got drum lines from the Fayetteville High School and Lincoln County High School. students coming to perform. We have a renowned singer performing the national anthem and several very distinguished guests that will be speaking on the project. In relation to that, we received word from the Tennessee Historic Commission that the project does not have to go before the State Building Commission. Therefore, as soon as we get approval from TDOT and TDEC, bids will be released and the phase 1 improvements will get underway. And with that being said, Mayor, with your permission, sir, I'd like to kick it back to Recreation Director Chris Mitchell about a public meeting he has coming up.
And I'd like to encourage everybody who can attend to come to the Recreation Center next Monday at 6 o'clock for our open community meeting on the feasibility study on the Recreation Center.
Yes.
Thank you. There is no unfinished business. We'll go right into new business. Item A, ordinance 2019-05, revised code title 16/202, excavations. Mr. Hill, will you speak to this?
Mr. Mayor, the Public Works Committee, I think for several months, has been reviewing the existing ordinances pertaining to the application process for street excavations to minimize excavations that occur after streets are paved, and they've made a recommendation to adjust the existing ordinance to extend the time for the city to grant or deny a permit for an excavation into the street from existing 1 day to 3 business days. So we have an ordinance proposing to do that.
Okay. We've discussed this extensively. We've gone over this a couple months. I get a motion to approve this.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve ordinance 2019-05.
Second.
Any discussion?
I got just one small comment. Our committee spent quite a bit of time on this. We also sat down with FPU, several of us and quite a few of them, and we worked out a good plan to where we can accommodate each other in our sewer and water and paving that we typically have going on. And FPU has been handed a big task of updating water and sewer, and it's no fault of their own because it took so long to begin working on it. That goes back a long ways. But we believe it, and after sitting down and talking with them, we believe that we can work together really well, and we believe that we can, as time goes on, we can find places that maybe we can pave to where they're through with, or also that we can work together to, if we have to, if we've got some places we might want to, if they're not through with their work, we can give them time to get through with their work. We believe that we'll work together. We believe it, speaking for myself, and the Vice Mayor can speak if she wants to on this, I believe that this is the only change that needs to be made.
I concur.
Any further discussion? Adrian, call the roll, please.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
That item passes. Item B, Fayetteville City Schools SRO grant. Dr. Janine Wilson's here to speak. We talked about this in the work session the other day.
Yes, thank you. And we had an agreement with the city for last school year, and Richard Howell has been gracious enough to work with us on this, and we appreciate having an SRO at the high school last year. And the agreement was that we were going to have 2 SROs, but Chief Howell did not have enough officers, so at the beginning of this school year, and we were going to share the expense of equipment, salary, benefits, everything was going to be 50-50, and we did so last year, and we were very pleased with the relationship we had with Scotty Vaughn at the high school, and it worked out great. And so Adrian Grubaugh now is at Askins, and we applied for a grant through the State Department of Education. We received word yesterday that we did receive the grant. We haven't gotten official notice, but we do know that we will be receiving the grant. And so we have been meeting with Chief Howell and some others about a third SRO. We feel that we need one at each school, and if anyone is listening at all to the national news and any news that you hear, school safety is on everyone's mind. I know it weighs heavy on my mind every day. We certainly would rather be proactive than reactive, and there's nothing that takes the place of that human element of having the SRO in each building. So in our discussions, Chief Howell went back and asked if he had any officer that was interested in being the third SRO, and he did. And one of the things that was discussed was if we could be willing to help supply a police vehicle for that officer. So I contacted the comptroller's office, and that is an expenditure that we can make. Of course, a portion, 60% of the vehicle, we can legally purchase, and we would be willing to do so, which would be of benefit to you all since it would belong to you. It would not belong to us, so it would be to your advantage to let us do that. And we would like for you to give your blessing to have the third SRO for the middle school. So that's why I'm here.
So we discussed basically the 40% remaining on the vehicle would be $20,000.
It would be 20,000. Well, I think the figure that you came up with 45,000, so it'd be about 27,000 we would pay, and then the remainder would be your. But you would use the vehicle the remainder of the year. We just use it 180 days.
Plus, we talked about we'd also be we would be paying this officer the 8 weeks that or the 2 months. It would not be during the school year too. So it'd be an officer for the city. So
yes, Chief Howell might want to speak to that, but he has a need for the officer the rest of that year. So he says it's a win-win for him too.
Excuse me, the officers that during the summer when they're not in school, for instance, Scotty Bond, this year he worked a lot in the softball and baseball fields, handling that area for us. Also, he worked some of the parks. With the third officer or the two officers, either one, they are a benefit to the citizens. But we use them. We do not put them on the shift with regular patrol. We use them on the flex shift.
The reoccurring cost, not taking into account the vehicle, because the vehicle's a one-time cost until it has to be replaced some point. Hopefully a long ways down the road. The reoccurring costs in the salary to the city is about $11,274.08.
Right.
So this is a real deal for the city.
It's a real deal, and should the grant not be renewed, we are committed to continuing to pay our part of it. We feel that strongly that school safety is of the utmost importance to our students.
okay, we need a motion for this item.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve this process.
I'll second.
Second. Any further discussion? Adrian, call the roll, please.
Miss Allen.
Aye.
Miss Small.
Aye.
Mr. Alder.
Aye.
Miss Hartman.
Aye.
Miss Martinez.
Aye.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye.
That item passes. Thank you, Dr. Wilson.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Item C, Downtown Master Plan Optional Service. We discussed in the work session the other day where the Walker Collaborative has come back and asked us to approve up to no more than $2,500 for a key plan graphic or a map that they would develop after the charrette. In the next 2 meetings, it would be a key graphic that our public could see and kind of see the vision of what we would be going forward with this. Ms. Gentry sent out some additional information to the board this afternoon in that regard. So I need a motion for this item.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Adrian, call the roll, please.
Miss Small.
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
That item passes. Item D, Fayetteville City School System Budget Amendment Number 4, General Education. These are several several ledger items balancing out $223,290. It's a customary procedure. Need a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve that budget amendment number 4.
Second.
Any discussion? Adrian, call the roll, please.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
That item passes. Item E, Fayetteville City School Budget Amendment Number 1. It's another ledger item, evening out $8,450. Need a motion for that item.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve budget amendment number 1 for the Fayetteville City School System.
Second.
Second.
Second. Alderman Martinez, any discussion? Adrian, call the roll, please.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
That item passes. Item F, Board of Zoning Appeals appointment. We have a vacancy on the Board of Zoning Appeals. It's a board that meets as needed. I brought forward the name of Joe Smith. He's a former engineer and had extensive years of service to our community on the Board of Public Utilities years ago. So I need a motion to approve.
Mayor, I move we approve Joe Smith for the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Adrian, call the roll, please.
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
That item passes. Item G, Board of Appeals appointment. This is another board that meets as needed. This is for the reappointment of Tom Bailey, who's been on there. Originally, I had sent, I was notified that Danny Shelton term was up, but his term is still good for a couple of years. So I just need a motion to approve Tom Bailey's reappointment.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Adrian, call the roll, please.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Item H, Turbo Turtle Race. This is a permit request for August 24th, 2019 at Stonebridge Park from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. by the Lincoln County Health System. And a motion to approve this.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Adrian, call the roll, please.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Item I, food truck event for August 24th, 2019 on the square. Request from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. A motion to approve that permit application.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Adrian, call the roll, please.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
That item passes. Item J, Southern Weekend of Art has moved from the June period to September of this year, September 27th to 29th down in Stonebridge Park. Need a motion to approve this permit application.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Second, Alderman Alder. Any discussion? Adrian, call the roll, please.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
That item passes. Well, this comes to the enjoyment of the evening. We have two people that we're going to honor with resolutions this evening for decades of public service that's well deserved. We're going to start with item K, Resolution R 1907, honoring Tom Bagley, our former city attorney. I will read this first, and then I'll need a motion, a second to approve, and then we'll take pictures. Lucy, you prepared to take pictures? All right. A resolution honoring Thomas O. Bagley Whereas the Board of Mayor and Aldermen deems it appropriate to pass this resolution honoring Thomas O. Bagley, former city attorney for the city of Fayetteville, and whereas Thomas O. Bagley was born in 1929 in Fayetteville, Tennessee, the son of Charles F. and Jimmy Higgins Bagley, and whereas Thomas O. Bagley served in the United States Naval Reserve, and whereas Thomas O. Bagley earned a Bachelor of Arts degree from Washington and Lee University in Lexington, Virginia in 1951, and whereas Thomas O. Bagley earned a Juris Doctorate degree from Washington and Lee University in 1953, and whereas Thomas O. Bagley was admitted to practice law in the state of Tennessee in 1953 and was further admitted to practice law in the state of Virginia and before the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Tennessee, and whereas Thomas O. Bagley engaged in the private practice of law with Robert W. Stevens beginning in 1953 and later with Robert W. Stevens and R. Whitney Stevens, Jr. in the firm of Stevens, Bagley, and Stevens until his retirement in 2002, whereas Thomas O. Bagley is a member and fellow of the Tennessee Bar Association and a member and past president of the Fayetteville-Lincoln County Bar Association, and whereas Thomas O. Bagley represented the citizens of the city of Fayetteville and Lincoln County as a member of the 81st General Assembly of the Tennessee House of Representatives from 1959 to 1960, and where Thomas O. Bagley served the state of Tennessee as a member of the Board of Professional Responsibility of the Supreme Court of Tennessee, and whereas the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the City of Fayetteville appointed Thomas O. Bagley to the position of City Attorney on November 5, 1956, and whereas Thomas O. Bagley provided sound and steady guidance to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the City of Fayetteville for over 41 years until his retirement from the position of City Attorney on December 31, 1997, making him one of the longest serving municipal attorneys in the state of Tennessee. And whereas Thomas O. Bagley served the City of Fayetteville as judge of the municipal court, and whereas Thomas O. Bagley was a member of the Tennessee Municipal Attorneys Association and served as its president, where Thomas O. Bagley was instrumental in bringing a Manor Refrigeration and other industries to the City of Fayetteville, and whereas Thomas O. Bagley is a member of the Fayetteville Rotary Club, where he served as president and has been the recipient of the Paul Harris Fellow, and whereas Thomas O. Bagley is a member of the Board of Directory of Amanda Forstner Scholarship Foundation, whereas Thomas O. Bagley was a member of the chairman of the Board of Directors of the Union National Bank, whereas Thomas O. Bagley served his community as a member of the Fayetteville-Lincoln County Airport Commission, whereas in 2009, Thomas O. Bagley served the City of Fayetteville as the member of the City Charter Advisory Panel tasked with updating the charter of the City of Fayetteville, and whereas in 2012, due to the untimely death of the City Attorney Jim Hereford, Thomas O. Bagley heeded the call to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen and agreed to provide assistance to the City of Fayetteville until a new City Attorney could be appointed. And whereas Thomas O. Bagley has been married to Peggy Bagley for 65 years, as the father of Lee Ann Dawkins and Tom Bagley, and the grandfather of Lauren Neverett, Katie Bennett, Kay Barrett, Owen Bagley, William Bagley, Lauren Northern, and Shane Dawkins, and whereas Thomas O. Bagley is a lifelong member of the Fayetteville First Presbyterian Church, where he has served in many capacities, including deacon, elder, and trustee of the church. And whereas Thomas O. Bagley is a man of great integrity who has devoted his life to service to others in his community, he is known to many as a friend and a wise and steady counselor. Now therefore be it resolved that the members of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen honor Thomas O. Bagley, former City Attorney for the City of Fayetteville, and thank him for his service to the City of Fayetteville and its citizens. And be it further resolved that this Board of Mayor and Aldermen, that this resolution of respect and esteem be spread upon the minutes of the Board, and that a copy be forwarded to Thomas O. Bagley this 12th day of August 12th, 2019. So I need a motion to approve that.
I make that motion. We approve resolution number R19-07.
Second.
Adrian, any further discussion? Adrian, call the roll, please.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alders?
Aye. That's fine.
Thank you very much. I appreciate those kind words. And I also want to thank your predecessors back in the 1956 for seeing fit to appoint me as a city attorney. it is a job that I really enjoyed because I love people. And in this job, you meet plenty of people and you get to find out exactly what they are. This is a wonderful place to live and grow up and bring up your children. There is one story I'd love to tell you about it. Back in the 70s, there was no industrial board of the city and the county. It was all handled by the Chamber of Commerce and by the mayor and board of aldermen too. And Copperwell Corporation had been interested here for some period of time, and we had been working with them quite a bit. And their president, Mr. Smith, decided to come to Fayetteville and to see what it was all about. And he came down, and the mayor, who at that time was S.J. King, and a group went out to where the Copperwell Corporation is now, in the big field out there. And he looked at it, and we all went around and looked at it. And we got back in the car and were fixing to leave, and Mr. Smith says, well, I think that we are going to bring the corporation to Fayetteville. And with that, S.J. stopped the car, immediately threw on his brakes and jumped out of the car and went running around to the trunk of the car and pulled out a golden shovel right there. It had a ground baby. And it just so happened that Joe Collins, who was then editor of the Elk Valley Times, happened to be there and to take a picture of the whole crowd. But I just want to tell y'all, always be prepared, as he was that day. Be prepared. And maybe even have a golden shovel in your trunk of your car. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
I do 1, 2, and 3. Do 2 more. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's all right.
Well, if you thought that was long, this next one's longer. We may have to take an intermission, Tom Bailey. And Tom said that's okay. So, this next item, which is I think it's item L, the resolution honoring Thomas E. Bailey. Whereas the Board of Mayor and Aldermen deems it appropriate to pass this resolution honoring Thomas E. Bailey for his tireless assistance to the city of Fayetteville. Whereas Thomas E. Bailey earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Civil Engineering from Northwestern University in Evanston, Illinois in 1953. And whereas Thomas E. Bailey served in the United States Army's 503rd Engineer Company in Europe from 1953 to 1955 as the recon team leader, performing road and airfield projects for the military. And whereas Thomas E. Bailey was employed by Stearns Roger Manufacturing Company in Denver, Colorado from 1956 to 1958, engaged in structural foundation design, whereas Thomas E. Bailey was employed by Brown Engineering Company in Huntsville, Alabama from 1958 to 1972 in the field of civil engineering design, and whereas in 1960 Thomas E. Bailey and his family established their home in the city of Fayetteville. Whereas Thomas E. Bailey was employed by the top of Alabama Regional Council of Government in Huntsville from 1972 to 1974 as a project manager, whereas Thomas E. Bailey was employed by the Tennessee Valley Authority in Nashville from 1974 to 1988 as a field representative in community development. Whereas Thomas E. Bailey was employed by the University of Tennessee Space Institute in Tullahoma from 1988 to 1996 in the field of industrial technology transfer, whereas while serving at UTSI, Thomas E. Bailey earned a Master's of Science degree in Aviation Systems in 1995 from the University of Tennessee Space Institute. And whereas upon his retirement from UTSI, Thomas E. Bailey began work as a consulting civil engineer, whereas while working as a consulting civil engineer, Thomas E. Bailey has assisted the city of Fayetteville with projects too numerous to count, but significantly the Camp Blunt project and numerous drainage projects. And whereas Thomas E. Bailey was also provided invaluable service to the Fayetteville-Lincoln County Industrial Board and Development Board, where he has served as a member, and the Fayetteville Regional Airport Authority, where he has also served as a member, as well as other governmental organizations in and around the city of Fayetteville. And whereas Thomas E. Bailey has served as a member of the City of Fayetteville Building Code Board of Appeals, serving as its chairman, whereas Thomas E. Bailey is a member of the American Society of Civil Engineers, whereas Thomas E. Bailey has served as a member of the Fayetteville Regional Planning Commission, serving as its chairman, whereas Thomas E. Bailey has served as a member of the Fayetteville-Lincoln County Chamber of Commerce, serving as its director, whereas Thomas E. Bailey has served his community and a member of the Fayetteville Civitan Club, having served as its president, whereas Thomas E. Bailey provides skillful and able engineering assistance to the city of Fayetteville over the past 25 years on an array of projects that have improved the lives of the citizens of the city of Fayetteville. And whereas Thomas E. Bailey has been married to Betty Lou Bailey for 62 years, the father of Thomas Mark Bailey of Seattle, Washington, Thomas Allen Bailey of Shelbyville, and Thomas Lynn Bailey of Denver, Colorado. Whereas Thomas E. Bailey is a member of the Fayetteville Church, First Presbyterian, Whereas Thomas E. Bailey is a man of great integrity who has devoted his life to service to others in his community. Those members of the city of staff who have had the honor of working directly with Mr. Bailey have found him to be kind and cooperative cohort with amazing mastery of his profession, making him the first person to call when a situation arises that requires engineering services. Now be it resolved that the members of the Board of Mayor and Alderman honor Thomas E. Bailey and thank him for his service to the city of Fayetteville and its citizens, and be it further resolved by this Board of Mayor and Alderman that this resolution of respect and esteem be spread upon the minutes of the board and that a copy be forwarded to Thomas E. Bailey. This the 12th day of August 2019. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Adrian, call the roll, please.
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Holder?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Well, thank you. Michael, there was a key word in your little last few sentences that I want to say something about. And it is that I enjoy especially doing these little unusual projects for the city especially, because it's fun for me to come down here and do that work and work with this group of people on staff and boards of the city. And we're doing some kind of branding. Are we up to that right now, working on for the city? And I think one of the things I'm going to suggest, we need a song. And since I'm close to retirement and do a little songwriting, I thought I might take that up. That's one of the more unusual possibilities. But your trademark, speaking of that project, your trademark is kindness. And I don't know if you know that, but it's true. It just shines. This is a great place to come, great place to be. And people are treated with respect and kindness here. And I'm one of those that got treated that way by the city. And I thank you very much for this. Appreciate it.
We're coming to the closing comment phase of our meeting. We'll start down with Alderman Martinez.
I really don't have much to say. School's back in session, back in full swing. I want to thank Richard and all your staff. The first week of school was so smooth. It seemed like with all the traffic, everything seemed to go really smoothly. Encourage everybody to come to the closing of the pool and to do the branding initiative survey online.
The only thing I have is I would like to give a big shout out to Adam Rutledge. He conducted the Ghost Walk last weekend, and it was very well attended. The merchants stayed open late. It was a very successful event. There is another one scheduled for August the 24th, so I hope if you missed this last one, come out and take this tour. It's very interesting. It's a lot of fun, and you're down on the street live and in person, so it's really a neat thing. And those are at 7 o'clock. They'll be August the 24th. And also the Art Center Open House is this week. It's Thursday night from 6 to 8. We invite everyone out for wine and cheese. And you get to see the inside of the Art Center, and the local artists there have things on display. But most importantly, you will get to get a sneak preview of the murals that are going to go up on the back side of the west side of the square, and they're absolutely fabulous. Also, if you're there, they'll let you take a paintbrush and make a stroke or two to say that you were part of that mural. So, hope that y'all come out Thursday night, 6 o'clock. That's all.
Just glad to see all the kids excited to be back in school, and just ask that everybody watch out for your neighbor with all this heat, especially the older folks in town. Just check on everybody every now and then. That's all I got.
I too like to welcome all the children back to school and ask everyone to be cautious of them. Watch out for the buses, and please adhere to the bus stop signs so that we can keep all the kids safe.
Let's see, I want to remind everybody about the senior fishing rodeo this Saturday at Stonebridge Park. And the feasibility study community meeting will be 6 p.m. This coming Monday night at the Recreation Center.
Well, I want to congratulate our two individuals we have. I've had the pleasure of working with one of them a lot since I've been on the board. I know a lot about Mr. Bagley too, and walked up to Mr. Bagley a while ago and told him congratulations, whatever. He said, I believe this might be my obituary. So I don't know if he's saying, well, it took quite a while for us to recognize him, but he put in a lot of time for the city, a lot of time. And Mr. Bailey has too, and I'm just so proud to know both of them. I mean, you know, the individuals like these two gentlemen and their families, what they've contributed to the city of Fayetteville, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. And I'm glad to know you. That's all I have.
I want to follow up with Alderman Bryant on that. I want to tell a little story on Tom Bagley. When we worked on the charter advisory panel, we had a full board of people, and times we would disagree, and Tom only quit about 3 or 4 times, but I would keep sending the corrections to him, and he'd show back up. So, but that was invaluable because Tom gave us some invaluable insight on some key points on why some things were in the charter that need to stay in the charter. So I commend you, Tom, and we've had a good friendship since then. Last Friday, several people from our manufacturing community got together. We, along with Mayor Newman, we signed a proclamation for October 4th to be Manufacturing Day in Fayetteville and Lincoln County, and took the opportunity to thank not only our new industries but our existing industries. And even with the notification that there will be a layoff at Daikin in September 27th, we do have a lot of existing industries that have need for workers at this moment. And just encourage everybody with this rec center feasibility study on Monday, the charrette coming up at the end of September, 1st of October with our Walker Collaborative. We have a lot of good things going on in our community. So we will adjourn this meeting, and we'll come back in September to do business city.